Hello, everyone. We're still adding Lewis. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
Did you do it through your email or Google Plus?
My email. I don't think I can do. I don't think I can do it through Google Plus.
It probably just takes a few minutes to send you the email then.
Yeah, possibly. Because I got 2 emails then, all at once.
Yeah.
The
first email I sent, it was more than 5 minutes ago, so it probably just takes a few minutes.
Yeah. All right. So is it live now then?
Yeah, we're live now. I thought maybe I had to go live before I could add you.
Okay, cool. No problem. Let's have a look. Shall we post it on the? Shall we post it somewhere? The link.
Yeah, you can go ahead and post it.
Are you watching it live? Turn it off. I can hear it. I can hear what you say. What you're saying.
Yeah, I went to the control panel. I didn't realize that it was showing it live. It really confused me for a second because I hear myself 10 seconds ago.
Okay.
It's like on the radio when they tell you to turn it off.
Yeah.
Because it'll just confuse you. All right.
Send it to a few people.
Someday we'll have it dialed in.
Yeah, we'll have to be a bit more organised next week. Well, not organised, but...
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a professional endeavor. We are professionals.
Right, let me just come off Facebook.
I just got done with my makeup artist.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And my camera crew is here.
Yeah?
Wait, hold on. Let me talk to the lighting crew. The lighting crew says that we're gonna hang this blanket so we have better lighting. That's what the lighting crew says.
I'll have a drink while you wait. Well, at least it gives everyone time to sign in.
Get your coffee ready.
I don't like coffee.
I love coffee in my body.
I've never liked it. I think it's really bitter.
Well, that's why you add sugar to it, dummy.
Yeah, but you shouldn't need to add sugar to it. You know what I mean? Like tea, good quality teas is a nice drink. But coffee, because it's so widely used as well. It's so widely drank. I can't, and I think to myself, why don't? Oh, it's not like Marmite. where that's more of a love-hate thing. But whereas coffee, everyone drinks it. I just think, why have I never got to a stage where I've liked it? You know, I suppose sometimes you can force yourself to like something, can't you? It's a bit like alcohol. I remember when I first had a little sip of alcohol when I was with my grandparents when I was like, 12. I had a little sip and it tasted horrible. Never liked it.
Well, I added a little stevia.
I love stevia.
I added some to my coffee.
Yeah, the thing is with stevia because you kind of think it's a good sugar to have. I kind of overdo it a bit too much. I trick myself into having more than I should do.
Do you want to go ahead and post the link?
I think I've posted it.
Okay, that's fine. It'll record anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay. For all you,
on the life's on our Facebook page. Just pop it on there.
All right. Do you want me to edit? All right. I guess we'll just start now for recording.
Cool.
And then, all right, hey everyone, welcome to the Saturday morning conversations with me and Lewis.
Is that what it's called?
Sure.
Brilliant.
And then, yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about dealing with family on a program. And we're going to talk about maybe a little bit about self-development too. How to go about it, how to heal the world through self-development. All right. Yeah. I'm just sitting here sipping my coffee, eating some, I've got some green beans and blue corn chips too.
Nice. I'm just sat with some water. I've just had my tea actually.
And let me show you how this is how a man swallows their supplements. They take them all at once and they put them in their mouth. And they spill a little coffee on themselves. Like that. And that's how a man does it.
Yeah. Took me a while to be able to eat supplements like that. I used to have like one at a time and I made a big kind of drama out of it, like, one tablet at a time. But when I used to work with Robert in Thailand, he is the master at eating supplements. I was like, how can you eat that many supplements all at once? And I learned how to do it. So yeah, proud of myself on that one.
Yeah, I used to have a terrible gag reflex when I was younger, but now I can swallow like 15 pills with like a little bit of water.
Yeah, you can get yourself down to the smallest amount, don't you? It's unbelievable. But yeah, I'm just drinking my water, my ozonated water, spring water.
And you're ozonating your water?
Yeah. I've got a little ozone machine.
Did you buy the one on Dr. Wilson's website?
No, not that one. This is a different one. This is like it's cool, man. You just put this in your water every morning. Turn it on for 10 minutes, go and do whatever you need to do, and it's done. You don't need to worry about anything, so that's good. So that saves a lot of time. But we sell them on the website. Anyone wants one?
Yeah, anyone that wants one. I gotta buy myself one. Lewis is sitting here ozonating his water. I gotta step my game up.
Yeah, I ozonate my water every morning.
Did you add a little bit of open water to it?
No, not yet. Not yet. I will do it at some point though.
You're not quite to that point yet.
No, I'm not to that point yet. But yeah, I think you I think at first in a nutritional balancing program, everything's so overwhelming. There's so much to do in the day, and you think to yourself, I can't get all this done. And then as you kind of progress, you find ways of like speeding things up really quick. Mm-hmm. So like for example, I have work on a Monday to Wednesday at 9:30, and I've got to be there for I've got to set off at like 9:15, and like little speed enhancing techniques like I'll wake up in the morning. Well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to wake up in the morning and turn the sauna on straight away while I'm just about waking up, so it's heating up, prepared, and then I'll make sure that there's hot water ready, prepared for the coffee enemas, and then obviously I quickly grab myself some water from downstairs and ozonate them. So, and then so basically everything's kind of warming up and preparing itself while I'm getting changed and brushing my teeth, doing what I need to do.
Oh yeah, what I would do is when I use the sauna in the morning, I'll actually turn on the coffee machine for my enema while the water's getting hot from my shower after the sauna. And then right after I'm done with the shower, I go straight into filling up my bag with the coffee, and then I do an enema right away.
Yeah. Say that again. What do you do?
What's that?
Say that again. You heat up? What did you say?
I said, so when I'm done with my sauna, and then I have to
Okay.
turn on the water for a little bit, so the water gets hot for my shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then while I'm waiting a couple minutes for the water to get hot, when I'm just in my towel, I go to my coffee machine and I turn it on to make the coffee for my coffee enema.
So you use a coffee machine?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't boil it for like 10 minutes?
No, I usually tell my clients to use a coffee machine too, because it saves so much time. It's so much easier to clean up. And if you use distilled water and just a little bit of extra coffee, it's really the same potency anyway. You know, you should probably, you're not getting quite as much out of it as if you boil it. But if you use distilled water and just a little bit of extra coffee, I think that the difference is really negligible. And so I just buy like, I have like a $10 really cheap Black & Decker coffee machine. And then while I'm taking my shower, it's on, making the coffee. It gets done in a couple minutes. And then right after my shower, after the sauna, I go right into doing my enema.
I get a lot of people like saying to me, "Oh, it takes so long for me to cook, and I'm spending hours cooking, and it's taking a lot of time out in my day." And like, I think a good idea for people to do is to do the weekly shopping, or once every 3 days or whatever, to keep things fresh. And then as soon as they get home, chop all the vegetables up, wash them all at once in whatever you want, however you want to wash them, a bit of hydrogen peroxide or whatever, and then bag them in. I eat mono meals. A lot of people don't like it, but I think I've got to a stage now where I don't particularly cook things for maximum taste. I just cook things knowing that that's what my body needs in order to kind of heal and whatnot. But if you just put them in small bags, it's literally, I go down, if I want something to eat, I'll go downstairs, I'll get the hot water on the hob, grab a bag out of the fridge with the vegetables in, throw that in the steamer, and then just put the lid on the steamer. That's it. 10 minutes, it's done. So it can be so quick if you've got children, or you've got other things where you think, I cook too much. I see a lot of people doing loads of chopping and peeling, and just keep the skin on a lot of vegetables. Just wash them and keep the skin on. That saves a lot of chopping and skinning. And a lot of people are using the oven, which takes 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So just steam them. It's 7 to 10 minutes, steam them, and then you can even put your chicken in, your turkey in, a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil, a bit of salt, sprinkle of salt, and you're done. So, in effect, you can have a full meal cooked and ready in like 10 minutes. But it was really funny at the start of the program because I'd never cooked before. I was useless at cooking. So I was buying all these vegetables, half of them I never even knew, what they were or what the name was. I was buying like celiac and, parsnips. That's not a strange one, but all these strange vegetables, and I'm thinking, how do you cook these? And I was making so many mistakes. Like I was steaming celiac and parsnips, and they're just the worst things to steam.
Yeah.
I was putting like cauliflower in the oven and roasting cauliflower, but it didn't taste nice at all. Do you know what I mean? And like after a while, you get to realize what's good to steam and what's nice to roast, and you can actually make some really nice meals. You know what I mean? Make sure you don't cook it too long. Make sure you don't cook it for too short. But like now, I even cook sometimes for my family simple meals, what I eat day in, day out, and because I've tried it so many times, I understand how long to put different vegetables in certain situations and what kind of condiments and stuff work well, and spices. They all love it. I think it's amazing. But yeah, still haven't followed my advice as much as what I should do, unfortunately.
Yeah, you get better and better at making the vegetables quicker and quicker. Pressure cookers are really nice, especially if you're cooking rice and beans and stuff like that. You know, pressure cookers help a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not really one. I've not got that much experience with cooking rice and beans and stuff because I have candida really bad, so I tend to stay away from beans and whatnot. But I suppose if I'm having beans, I just use a pan, boil them.
Yeah, vegetable steamers help a lot too. You have one, you said, right? A vegetable steamer?
I had an electric one, yeah. They're really good as well, but I don't know. I think you got to be a bit careful with the heating appliance. Do you know what I mean? Because I think the heating element that I used to have, I don't think it was a particularly good one, and I think we're probably leaking the bits and bobs, and I don't know. You just got to be a bit careful because a lot of them are plastic as well. You know, so like washing the plastic and vegetables and stuff. I just don't like the idea of them putting together, especially when it's heating it up. I just like a simple stainless steel steamer. It's small, it's compact. You know, you can have like multiple levels. So you know, if you want your vegetables in the first layer, and then what I do is I put my vegetables in the first layer, and then I cook them for like 10 minutes, and then I'll have a bit of turkey in the fridge. So I'll put another layer in because you can take the layers in and out. Put the turkey in there, leave the turkey in for 7 minutes. So the vegetables have been there for 17 minutes, 20 minutes. The turkey's been there for 7. So in 20 minutes you've got a nice meal, and they've both been cooked at a nice times. You know, it's nothing worse than having over steamed turkey. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. It turns rubbery. It's disgusting. Ugh, not nice.
Yeah, some vegetables are definitely better steamed, while some are better like stir fried. I know it's like stir frying definitely cooks things pretty awfully quick. Like if you put a little bit of oil in a pan and cut up sweet potatoes and almost make like sweet potato rounds or like fries, and you just use the oil on low heat, it cooks them so fast.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I think you got to be skillful sometimes at cooking a stir fry, because that does. I just don't. You got to get the right amount of oil and make sure it's not too hot. You know, because if you put too much oil in, all the vegetables end up turning soggy. And you put too little oil in, it's obvious it's going to burn. And you know, if you cook it for too long, you start sticking to the pan. You got to be quite skillful. As much as it's an easy meal, I think to make it really good is difficult. You know?
So,
and I think a lot of stir-fried foods as well are not particularly, when people think of stir-fry, they think about like mushrooms and peppers and tomatoes and stuff. I can't find many really good vegetables that are decent for a stir-fry. I mean, if I'm doing a stir-fry, I'll just use like carrots, bean sprouts, garlic. But a lot of stuff I eat, it's all green. Like broccoli's not too bad in a stir fry, but things like leeks,
Yeah, really, broccoli, cauliflower, and then root vegetables are the ones that stir fry the best.
Mm.
Like onions stir fry well.
The onions are alright, but I don't know about leeks. Oh, they're alright. I haven't tried it.
I don't think I've ever eaten leeks.
No, I don't think it's. Yeah. Are they common in America? Leeks?
Yeah, I've just never bought them.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So, anyway, we're talking about the family.
All right. What does your family think of your program? How do you approach it with your family?
Oh, it's difficult in the beginning because I think I mentioned it in the podcast last week. It's when you first start in it, it's all a little bit like because I had that kind of few years of kind of not knowing what we're going off with myself anyway, and I was fearful about kind of coming out and saying, look, I'm suffering from depression or I'm suffering from all these ailments, So I was trying to find ways around it and going to doctors, going to psychiatrists and all this kind of stuff. And I think you kind of put on a mask. You manage to like put on a mask. And you do a pretty good job at it, really. You get through life all right, and you put on this mask, and I think everyone just sees you as just being how you are. Do you know what I mean? You might be a little bit socially awkward or blah blah blah, but compared to other people, I think people looked at me and thought I was all right. Do you know what I mean? So I think coming out and saying, look, I've got an issue, I didn't really, I can remember now actually, I didn't really want to come out and say something until I had a definite kind of definition about what was going off. Because I went to doctors and stuff and they were saying, oh, I was suffering from depression or I was suffering from low self-esteem, blah, blah, blah. And I remember going on a CBT course for self-esteem, and I was having to ask myself questions and change the way I think and stuff. And like, I could see the way I was thinking wasn't good. It was quite negative. But even when I changed the way I thought, the interface between my mind and reality was just not working properly. But I didn't, I obviously wasn't experienced enough to realise that it was my body that were causing these problems. So it was when I read the article on brain fog and copper toxicity, because when I read that article, my parents were actually away on holiday. So I had a week, I had a week, I went out straight away and bought, vegetables, and I bought some supplements from like a cheap supplement store that I should never have bought them from, but in the beginning you don't really know. And I remember the brain fog lifted, and that were it. That was my kind of like, my leverage to kind of come out and say, right, I've been suffering from these problems, I haven't been feeling well, but I found the solution, I found the answer. And I think he kind of accepted it because I think it come from my heart, I think I was quite tearful, and I was saying, things haven't been going right and blah, blah, blah. And I got in touch with someone that did air analysis that could provide me with it. And I was like, Mom, come with me, to see this practitioner. It wasn't to do with Dr. Wilson, it was someone else. And she came along, and I think that were when they realised that something was going off, because the practitioner was sat there saying, he's seriously sick. He's got serious issues. And but thinking about it, I think Dr. Wilson mentions it sometimes in his articles when he says, listen to what people tell you. Because, I think we were driving back in the car, and I'm like, you overthink. You're an overthinker. And I'm like, and at the time, I'm like, no, it's this copper thing. I've got brain fog. And she's like, you overthink. And thinking back now, like, I do overthink. I am an overthinker. I'm a deep thinker. Do you know what I mean? She says other things like, not long back, a few months back, she's like, you only think about yourself. You're very selfish. And I'm thinking about it. No, I'm not selfish. I'm just sick. And then as I kind of got more experience, I'm like, I am selfish. I do need to start thinking about others a bit more. I do need to start thinking about how other people's feelings and whatnot. So anyway, I was at uni at this time when I first started the program, which was kind of beneficial for me because it gave me an opportunity to kind of get away from my family a little bit, and I was doing the program. It was difficult in the beginning, like really difficult, because you're going into absolute kind of blank. It's just a blank slate. You don't know what you're doing really. You trust Dr. Wilson, but I didn't trust him 100%. I was just like kind of going along with it. I remember taking kelp, for example, and feeling dead terrible, not realizing it was kelp for like 2 or 3 weeks until it, you just don't know this kind of stuff because there's that much information to take in. You can't do it. So it was difficult. Don't get me wrong. It were really difficult at times, especially when the fatigue started really coming out. That was difficult and hard. So anyway, it was the last year at university, and we finished uni and we came back, and obviously I'd been doing the program for like 5 months, and I came back home, stayed at home for a bit, and it was just not. I was so stressed that I didn't want to work, but obviously my family wanted me to do work and go and find a job and do this and earn a living. And deep inside, I just couldn't do it, but they couldn't understand that. Do you know what I mean? They just thought, that I'd found this problem. I should go and see a doctor, or I should go and do this, or I should go and do that. And they just didn't realise. They didn't know what I knew. Do you know what I mean? And it was difficult because I'd been on this program for 5 months and I still weren't much better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Keep talking. I'll be back in a sec.
No worries. And one of my friends actually went came to me while I was at uni and says that he's going to go travelling for a year, and I thought that was my kind of way out, because I was so sick and tired and stressed that I thought my only way of me getting better is to go to Thailand. So so yeah, I went to Thailand basically, and I spent a year there in Thailand trying to sort myself out, trying to sort my body out. I met a nice practitioner called Robert, who really helped me out, got me through the bad times. But I think when you're in like such a copper state, you're so toxic with different things. It does kind of make you step away from reality a little bit. You're living your life in some sort of strange bubble that's kind of self-absorbed, and like you're kind of cut off from everyone else. So, you know, I remember kind of speaking to my mum on Skype at some point, and she's like, "Why don't you come home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but Mum, I'm not the person you think I am. I'm a spiritual guy, you know what I mean? Really spiritual, blah blah blah." And looking back at it now, I'm just like, oh my God, I was so ungrounded, and and but now I'm back at home and stuff, and it's like a habit. People form habits, like you form a habit. You know, it's difficult to do something in the beginning, but you form a habit. Apparently, it takes 21 days to form a habit. You know, that's what they say in the grapevine. But I think it's the same with your family and friends. Like now, they just know that this is what I do. Do you know what I mean? But these things like coffee enemas is awkward. I mean, I don't do them in front of anyone. Like, I'll do them when people have left. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they've gone to work, I'll do one then. Because that's just, you know, they accept it and stuff, but I don't start cooking. I don't start boiling coffee in front of them and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
No,
I
no,
I do.
no. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and do it. But nah, I do, and then I do it, and then I'll work.
I'll do I've done enemas while my family was watching football, and I go and do the enema and put the coffee in my rectum, and then I go and lay on the couch and watch football with everyone while I'm holding it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't care very much.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm already weird. I'm already weirded out.
It's not that I don't care. I think it's just the fact that some of the stuff that I do is so kind of, you know, different to what I used to be. I think it's something I need to kind of overcome a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. You know, with me, I tend to internalize things a lot, especially in regards to family. You know, I don't talk to my family. I've never really talked to my family much about my health problems or anything like that. I think when I first found the program, and especially when I became a practitioner, I was really excited in the beginning. You know, I was like, oh, I'm going to get my whole entire family on this program. And oh, so excited. I'm going to heal all my family members. You know, it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
Even if they're your family, you know, and they're close to you, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to listen to you about the program, or they're going to, and a lot of them even want to get their hair tested. Like, I've tested the hair of quite a few family members, but it's just like a little gimmick to, like, it's like, oh yeah, I'll get my hair tested.
Yeah, it's strange because I think when I read Wilson's articles and stuff, I was like, how is this not mainstream news? How is this not, you know? And I expected to tell everyone about this, and people to be like, oh, whoa, you know, thinking the same as me, like, oh, whoa, you know, I'm going to sort my health out and stuff. And I think sometimes you're that sick and you're that much in a brain fog, you don't actually realise how bad you are and how good, well, not how good, but some people are in all right health. They can get through, they don't worry about it too much. Do you know what I mean? I think some people who come onto this program are really in a worse way than they think, you know. But now I'm much healthier. I look at other people and think, yeah, you know, you could probably do with some nutritional help. But some people just aren't on your wavelength, and that's something that you've got to accept, you know, as just not a life.
Yeah, I mean, part of it, when you're so in your head, you don't understand how sick you are because your energy is not in your body, and it can be scary at times, because as the energy comes back into your body, you realize how sick it was.
Yeah.
Like for me, it took me a while to even realize, like I have really bad structural imbalances, like twists in my spine, and like my hips are out of kilter. And like it took me, but I didn't realize it because my energy wasn't there. It was in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I've been 3 years onto the program, and I've only just realised how fucked my jaw is. Oh, sorry for swearing, but how bad my jaw is.
Yeah.
But it's terrible. I mean, if I could, I wish I could kind of give the sensation over to someone and just say, feel that. While I'm doing it, just have a feel of that. It's really powerful, and I think that structural misalignment has got so many layers to it. It's kind of a whole story in itself.
Yeah. And but yeah, so in regards with family, even though I'm a practitioner and stuff, like I said in the beginning, it was really excited, to share with my family, and then it kind of sets in, and you realize that, in regards to family, you're just gonna have to try to lead by example the best you can. And I am thankful, I do have a few family members, my cousin Erica and her family are on a program. I actually put them on a program for free when I first started, just to get the experience. They had to, she has her own account and she pays for the hair test, but I do the consultation for her and her family for free. And obviously she pays for the supplements and things like that. And so, but doing it in the beginning for family members for a really low cost definitely helped me get experience and reading the hair tests. And it was nice because she's a chiropractor, and so she gives me free chiropractic adjustments.
Skills for skills.
What's that?
Skills for skills.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that, she has a lot of health problems, with her Hashimoto's disease and things like that. And so I hope that, as she heals, family members can see. Also, I think there's a big difference in her child, but compared to other children. Her child's Kate has been on the program for over a year now, and I think on this program you can really become a really good observer of people. Like you can see the health of children and the health of people, like, just by observing them in a lot of ways. Partially it's energetic, and seeing how high their energy is, and their muscle tensions and their posture, and part of it is you learn to tune. You can partially tune to people as well. I think one thing I've realized is tuning is, it's not like some mystical thing. It's like you're just becoming more and more aware of everything from a person. It's like your brain is just calculating their posture, the tone of their voice, how they move, their thoughts.
Yeah.
And then you're coming to you're able to come to a clearer picture. Does that make if that makes sense?
Yeah, but you're coming to that conclusion. I mean, you've got, by doing the meditation as well, that you do something from a different perspective. But just quickly, I just wanted to say that if people are having problems with the family members and stuff, not understanding, I know it sounds bad, but sometimes don't say it much. Don't speak about things much. Don't speak about your health.
Yeah.
Don't really talk about it. Just do what you need to do, because sometimes that's just the best way to go about it. As much as it's just, and they obviously get on the Facebook forums and that and speak to people on there, because that's like a family atmosphere. But yeah, literally something. I mean, there's a lot of things that I talk about to people and I think about that I'm not going to mention it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not the fact that I don't want them to know about it. It's not. It's just I just know intuitively that it's not. Your family members better than anyone. It's just not going to get it.
Yeah, and especially older generations, like my grandparents are still very healthy. It's important to realize that the bodies were very different even a couple of generations ago. Like my grandfather is I think he's 83. I think he's 82 actually. Yeah. And he can still chainsaw, like hard physical labor chainsawing for 6 hours straight. And he eats fast food every day.
Yeah.
you know,
It does baffle you sometimes, but I've come to realize recently that it's all based on your thoughts. You know, a lot of the times your physical problems and ailments and stuff stem from thoughts. So your upbringing, you know, how your environment was, different traumas and stuff, all
yeah,
kind of manifest themselves.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know, they're never gonna understand how burnt out you were because they don't understand. You know, to them it's like you're being lazy, or you know, you're not, just work harder or something. You know, why don't you don't have the energy to work harder because you're just lazy. I mean, the mental aspect is an important part in striving and things like that, but it is hard for, especially I think, older people to understand um, what it's like for a lot of these young people that have been in a brain fog, and they've been born so toxic and depleted, and you're never going to be able to really make them understand. Like, I tested the hair of my grandfather, the 82-year-old guy. I tested his hair. He's healthier. His chemistry is more balanced than most of the children. It's
Sure, you don't know.
it's a strange, you know, it's yeah, it's a little bit of a mind trip. You know, it's kind of sad, but and it's true. And so, you know, you have to understand that a lot of people just aren't going to understand. If they're at a fairly good health level, they're not going to, you know, they're not going to understand either. But I think as you heal and you become more confident in your presence, you know, family members do ask me questions. And although I never press the program on them, I don't even really talk about the program itself at like family reunion, like when I go have barbecues and stuff with my family, you know. But I do try to be honest with them when they ask me questions. When they ask me questions about what I'm doing on my program, when they ask me questions about things that they should be doing, I do try to be honest and direct with them. You know, obviously I omit certain things, but I do try to be as honest with them as possible because I think I do owe that to them.
Oh yeah, same here. Same here. You've just got to use your own intuition, I think, in a lot of these situations. Like, you know people the best because you've had a history of them, and you'll know whether your grandma will be open to a certain thing, or whether your aunt's going to be open to a certain thing more than others. And the more you experience that in, you know, that conversation or
Yeah.
integration in your
Yeah, and
family,
sometimes
the
it's
more you realise what's best and what's best not to speak about.
yeah, and sometimes it's little victories. Like, I got my grandfather to start taking kelp and zinc, and he felt better after he takes the kelp, and it makes him feel better. You know, just because he was getting a little bit more minerals in his body, you know, with the kelp. And so, you know, sometimes it's small victories. You know, you're probably not going to get very many family members doing a complete program, but I think that, you know, they can see it with their children too. You know, a lot of the children's energies, I've noticed, they're so deficient in calcium, magnesium. They're not very, you know, part of it is the fast oxidation too, but they're just, a lot of the children are so irritable. Like, they're just so, it's hard to explain. They're just so, their nervous systems are, they're so out of balance and so reactive. And I think I see with the children, like in person, like with Kate, Erica's daughter that I put on the program, she's much calmer. Her nervous system, you can tell, doesn't react, I don't think, quite as strongly to the environment. And I think, you know, so I mean, I think that can be a good thing. You know, if you're a practitioner and you're watching this and you want to get started, you know, just do consultations for free in the beginning to your especially to your family members, because that way you'll learn, because you need to start seeing hair tests in the beginning, especially to learn, so you can go over them with your coach and start learning about how to set them up. And you know, and if it actually does heal them and they actually do the program correctly, you know, that can get you more clout with your family members as well. You know, I would even consider, if someone had an autistic child or a child with like really bad delayed development, I would probably put that child on the program for free. But you know, they would have to pay for the hair test. You know, I would probably even pay for the hair test and the supplements, as long as they promised to do the program the best they could for their child, and I was able to keep track of their progress and do like a sort of testimonial type thing where I used that information to show the child being healed. I think that can be a good tool.
Well, yeah, but you can use it anywhere. You know, you can use anyone's air test and just cancel out. No one has to know anyone's name or age or who it is. You know, it's fine.
I mean, I think that can be a good thing too. Is just doing in some cases doing consultations for free for people if you have the time and energy, just to get in the beginning. So we'll see. Hopefully, as those family members that continue to do their program, because their health has improved a lot. I've seen it in their hair test. Hopefully, maybe other family members will embrace it more as well. But
I think you get a lot of respect when they see you improving. It's the same for me. Like now, they'll ask me genuine questions about things, and I'll give them a genuine answer. And I suppose I'm the same with you now. I think my mum's we've got a history of osteoporosis, and my nan's really bad, and my aunt is older than my mum. She's just been diagnosed with it. So my mum went for a bone test, and she's on a trend to get it. So I managed to get her to take vitamin D, because she had blood tests. She was low in vitamin D, and I says, "Yeah, I've got some vitamin D. Take this vitamin D." And she went back for a blood test not long later, and the blood tests were fine. And she came back and she's like, "I don't need the vitamin D anymore. My blood's fine." And I'm like, "Keep taking the vitamin D, please." Trust me, don't trust the blood test. Just keep taking it one a day. So that's good. I just get my vitamin D. I mean, I get vitamin D supplements, but I just get my vitamin D from sardines. So I don't, there's obviously, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the vitamin D overdose and the issues with that. Make sure you're not having too much vitamin D. So I know Dr. Wilson recommends either vitamin D or 3 to 4 cans of sardines every week. So I've managed to force my palate to enjoy sardines, because in the beginning I thought they were absolutely disgusting. I remember I was that malnourished initially when I got the program, and I bought some sardines. I ate a can of sardines, and honestly, I'm not joking, it felt like someone just pulled my skull open and poured a cold bucket of water on my brain. It just got nourishment. Honestly, that was the feeling. My brain were like starved of whatever that the sardines had, all the nutrients and the omegas and stuff. It was like, oh my god, finally. That's what it was like. It was like someone had poured a bucket of cold water on my head. And I went and told the hair practitioner like the week later, and she's like,
Ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, I've never met anyone so sensitive to things like this. And she's like, what? Just a can of sardines. So it just goes to show you how nutritious they are, I suppose.
Yeah. And as far as, I think it could be difficult. I have a lot of clients. I think that there are more females in general, it seems to me, on the. I think that it's changing a little bit, but I think especially from what I saw, there were more female practitioners and more females on the program. Partially because I guess girls are a little bit more interested in their health.
I think they're more open. I think they're more open to accepting issues as well. I think men have got this kind of social taboo where it's like males can't be sick or males can't show, kind of, and I think it's ingrained into us from being a child. I remember I was embarrassed as a man to kind of come out and say, "Oh, I'm depressed" or whatever. Like, it would be embarrassing, So I think that's one of the reasons.
And then, I don't know, what was I saying? Oh, about the women. I think that, I have a lot of female clients, and usually in most cases their husbands or significant other aren't going to be on the program. And I think that's a big struggle. It's different when it's like what we're talking about, when it's when we're young guys, and it's just, we're talking about like our parents and stuff like that. But it's different, when you've been married to a woman or married to another man for 30 years, and you've embarked on this journey, and you're eating the foods and things like that, and they're not. I think that is a a giant struggle that a lot of women, especially on this program, struggle with. And
Yeah.
you know, it does help. You know, as the husband, you know, sees how they're taking care of their health. A lot of times they, you know, especially if she's the one cooking food, you know, they're going to be eating the same foods and stuff like that, and that helps as well. But it could be difficult, and I've seen it, you know, where it can definitely cause relationship stressors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, especially if you begin to really appreciate the program and you want your significant other to be on it, and they're not willing, and you all of a sudden realize that they're not going to do it. It can cause, you know, a point in your life where you have to decide, is it worth it for me to keep doing the program and stay with this person, or am I going to have to move on?
I suppose that's another difficult issue that a lot of couples and people in relationships get, especially when one person's starting the program, because they start to become so aware of themselves, the relationship, and how toxic it is, that it's just where they're like, I think I need to move on. You know, I think this is not right for me anymore.
You know, really, you know,
I can imagine it be really stressful for people.
Yeah, it almost makes me. I really try to get couples to do it as much as I possibly can. You know, and if you're watching this, you know, try your hardest to get your significant other, because it's almost makes me uncomfortable in a way, because I know that at some point it's probably going to reach a crossing roads. Either you doing the program and your significant other isn't, which causes a problem in itself, or you're going to wake up and realize that person isn't quite who you thought they were, and
that's the thing. I think I don't know. It's not necessarily. It might not necessarily be an issue with people. You know, some couples might be fine with one eating this and the other eating the same. But as I said before, it's when that other person starts moving ahead in development, in developing themselves, balancing themselves. That's the issue. If the other one's behind, the compatibility is surely it's just not there anymore.
Yeah,
I've always thought to myself, like, I don't know, if I ever find a partner and all shit, like, I couldn't do it. I could not be with someone that just, I couldn't do it. You know, as much as the person might be really nice, it's knowing, like, I know how detrimental that is to people's health, and if you're not willing to change and eat at least a little bit better, I don't think.
I think that's the same. That's the truth for me as well. But for us, it's a little bit different, obviously, because we're young guys and we can just go find a girl that's willing to do the program. You know what I mean? But when you've been married for 30 years and all of a sudden, you know, you've made this drastic life change and your significant other isn't willing to, it can cause, you know, a lot of, it causes a definite problem. So I do encourage couples, you know, because couples will heal faster too. And it's interesting enough, when I look at the hair test of couples.
They help each other to heal.
Their hair tests are always the same. I've never seen a couple get their hair tested where their hair patterns weren't very similar.
Yeah, do you notice? Does any couples ring you up and say that they like, are they like dumping at the same time? They're like detoxing at the same time and stuff.
Yeah. They generally the hair tests mirror each other a lot.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I've even seen like couples.
The empathetic. I
see couples going to 4 Lows together.
Really? Wow.
Like they'll retrace. I've seen couples, you know, they'll retrace 4 Lows together. They always have the same like personality patterns. You know, if one's in 4 Highs, the other one will be in 4 Highs.
I think we should be like. I think every time we talk about 4 Lows or 4 Highs, we just need to mention that this is patterns seen on a hair test that we do. You know, because I think there's going to be some people watching this that are thinking, what? 4 Lows, 4 Highs? Or what?
So when we talk about these patterns, usually they have to do with the 4 macros, which are calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. And that's really most of how we interpret the tests. And these will be in certain ratios, these 4, and they'll be in certain patterns. And then you can gain a lot of personality aspects from the levels of certain minerals. And so for example, in 4 Highs, they're kind of acting like a fast oxidizer, and that they're pushing themselves into 4 Highs. And I see it a lot in like business people, if they're like in real estate, or those type of like executive type positions. Usually they eat pretty well, but they like coffee a lot and things like that. And I think people and in couples in general just tend to come together with another person that's similar in a lot of ways. And so I see a lot of similar personality aspects and patterns with couples. In fact, they're almost always the same, and their health is generally very close as well, partially because they're eating the same foods. They're usually exercising and sleeping the same amount. Part of it is energetic as well. And, there's an energetic aspect, when couples are just around each other, they're sharing their energy. Their energy is just, they're always in each other's presence, and their energies blend. And that causes similar health as well. And that's why even if the other person doesn't do the program, just through osmosis, one person in a couple healing always helps the other person. Part of it is energetic. If they're having sex and the person is getting, they'll actually get better minerals from the fluid even, you know what I mean? Because there's toxic metals and minerals and even in sexual fluid. And so as one person heals and they're having sex with their partner, even that helps heal the other person. And so there's a lot of different aspects where through osmosis, one person healing helps the other person automatically.
Yeah. I mean, even I think she's listening at the moment. But the girl that I'm with at the moment, she lives far away from me, and she can feel my, detoxes, and she can feel my energy, and I can feel hers and stuff. And I'm not going to get too into it, but that's pretty out there for a lot of people to understand and realize. And that just goes to show you how powerful one can become when doing something like this. It's not just close proximity. You can be at the other side of the world and still, heal together.
Yeah, and you can do it with other people a little bit as well. I find when I even just Skyping with people, with clients, I get better and better at tuning to them. You know what I mean?
I mean, even your family as well. I think your family pick up, and my parents do, I think, and your workmates. I mean, when I worked in Thailand with Robert, we were going through same patterns. We were working together every day, and we went through same patterns. Crazy, And it's unbelievable how you kind of help push each other along.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us full circle to where, really, if you want to heal the world, you have to heal yourself. And the best way to help the world and your family members and your partners and your children is through self-development. Because then you're sharing when you heal yourself at a deep level, you're always automatically sharing that energy with others, even if you don't realize it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to shut my curtain there.
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
But I mean, this is the root of all, all the Buddhist monks and stuff, and the people that take themselves out of society, and you think to yourself, well, they're not doing anything for the world, they're not doing any good, but in actual fact, the fact that they're just focusing on themselves and focusing on radiating love out to the universe is enough. They're providing, they're giving back their love, and it's kind of works on osmosis, and
Yeah, and we live in a very special time where you don't need to go isolate yourself in a monastery. I think in the beginning, it's more important to isolate yourself, especially as you're learning how to control your energy. And in the beginning, it can be really difficult. In the beginning, I even had trouble going to and I became aware of everyone's energy. I had trouble going to the grocery store just because everyone's energy is so toxic. I just felt it just bearing on me. And I couldn't isolate myself from it. And so I think in the beginning, especially for people, it is a little bit more important to take more of a monastic life isolate
and themselves. I also think that your body, in a strange way, allows that to happen. I mean, people in a calcium shell, for example, find it much easier to isolate themselves, I think. because your body's built up this calcium defense mechanism. Same with copper. I've got to be honest with you, I don't like being on my own anymore. I like to be around people now, but in the beginning, that's all I wanted to do. I was just wanted to be on my own because copper kind of creates this separate reality that you build for yourself. Do you know what I mean? You've built your own separate reality, so you're okay. But I think once that kind of got stripped away, and you kind of peek your head through the hole or the bubble or whatever, it's kind of like, whoa, and then you realise, that your happiness is bound together with other people's happiness in a sense.
Yeah.
I think it is unhealthy to I mean, separate yourself initially, but it is unhealthy to kind of not be around people for long periods of time. Really, I don't think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, you'll always need to isolate yourself a little bit more than other people, just because you're not staying up late and you're not, going out to parties and clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, you don't need to isolate yourself as much as you used to have to. It used to be, you have to go to a monastery and seclude yourself for decades to achieve. But now, you can go home and do coffee enemas and use your sauna and eat your food and take your supplements. It's not necessary to completely exclude yourself. You know what I mean? No. So that's a nice thing for people, because no one likes to be, like you said, I don't think anyone really likes to be completely alone. No, that's why it helps to have a partner. It definitely helps to have a partner on the program, a life partner.
Yeah. Difficult to find.
Yeah,
I suppose not. Well, it depends. It depends, really. It depends. I think you change. You obviously change a lot, and I mean, I remember not long back on the forums, and people were talking about relationships. Maybe not long back, maybe 7-8 months ago, and I was messaging saying, how can you be in a relationship? It's not I can't even dream about being in one. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, now, I am in a relationship, and it's like, I would never have, and people have messaged me saying, I can remember when you were sat there on the forum saying, I don't know how you can possibly be in one because of the kind of state that people were in. And now, you know what I mean? You it's weird. It's amazing, really.
And I think now, if you make the choice to find a person, a life partner to do the program, I think it is easier than ever. There's so many dating sites, and once you become healthy, and you're confident in yourself, it's not. I don't think it's.
I think if you get yourself healthy, the right person will come to you at the right time. That's how destiny works a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Because dating websites definitely didn't help for me. It made me more hostile. I was like, oh my god, I can't be. But no, I'm sure.
I know lots of people that have found good relationships off dating sites. It's not for everyone, but it's a tool in your belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
my tool was meditation. Little tip.
Well, that should be your biggest tool, is meditating.
Yeah.
And for all your problems.
I mean, it must be difficult for some people to listen to this, because I want people to realise that I was in your shoes. I'd be listening to me now and think, that guy is crazy. What is he talking about? Feeling people from other sides and manifesting relationships through meditation and feeling energy. I was just like, this guy's crazy. You know what I mean? This guy's crazy, but as you move through things and you learn more, it's all about gaining knowledge and finding the right material and stuff, and you just come to your own conclusions and your own feelings that in actual fact the world is a lot bigger and different than you kind of thought it were.
Is your girl on the program? What's her name? I forget.
I don't think she wants me to speak too much about. She's called Andrea.
Okay. Is she on the program? Is she on the?
Not really, but she respects it a lot.
Yeah.
Which is good enough for me. Yeah, she sent me a message actually. She sent me a message saying 35 minutes ago saying that she's just tuned in, and she tuned into the bit where we were talking about putting too much oil in the pan, because a couple of days back, oh, I think it was yesterday, a couple of days back, she was making fried zucchini with cheese, with melted cheese, and she put too much oil in the pan and it made all the zucchini dead soggy and stuff. So she just sent me that message saying she was laughing.
You ever got her to try coffee enemas?
Nah.
Or the
Really far away.
the other procedure that we use for women.
What's that?
The
No. I mentioned that actually.
Did you mention?
It's never been on my mind because I'm a man, so you know.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get her. We'll get her on a program eventually. No pressure, Andre. No pressure.
Oh god, so embarrassing.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I have a cheeky personality. Okay. Well, should we go to questions, or want to talk a little bit more?
All right. Is there some questions?
I don't know.
I think we've I don't know. I think we've covered quite a bit.
I think that's enough to soak in for people for one day. Let's see if there are any questions.
Questions.
So if you guys have a question, go to the comment section and leave us a comment. And we're going to be doing this at the end of every conversation. We're going to be looking at the comments to see if...
I don't think, we didn't mention it, did we, initially? When we first came on here.
Yeah, there might not be any, so we'll see.
I don't know. Are you on there now? Are you on there?
No, I have to go to the YouTube channel first.
Have a look. Let's have a look. Here we are. Oh,
you have to go to live control room. Have you done it before?
It just says it on chat, yeah.
Oh, you're on the chat. Okay.
All right. Do you wanna?
How important do you guys find the foot reflexology and the spinal twist? You wanna answer that first, then I'll say something.
I think reflexology were one of the things that I found the most to kind of embrace, because that was like, how does this work? How do you know what I mean? I don't know how massaging the feet can be beneficial to you one bit, and then you do realize that, you know, the world is made up of fractals, and the energy systems are all linked to your feet, and well, everywhere on your body, and that's why we're built to walk around barefoot and feel the stones and the grass, and because that massaging the feet is good for the body. I noticed in reflexology that, I mean, when I first started, I was yawning a lot. Every time I touched my feet, I yawned. You know, so there's a definite connection there, and I was so tired that it was obvious why I was yawning, because my organs and my body structure and stuff were just exhausted. So and then I started, you know, doing more massages and finding tender spots and then looking where they were on the map, and you know, and kind of went from there really. The thing is, reflexology is that I think it's kind of it's not I mean, one of the reasons why it's on the program is it's not expensive to do, and it's not difficult to do. Everyone can do it from home for free. You know what I mean? So you haven't got to go somewhere to get full body massages and stuff. And you know, I found it really beneficial. I don't do it. I've got to be honest with you, I don't do it as much as I should do. And at the moment, I do have to go out sometimes and get it done from a professional. And that's kind of, it's nice because it's social as well. you know, because sometimes you are quite alone on the journey, and you do need to kind of find and connect with people that are on a similar wavelength to you. So, you know, it was not too expensive. Go and have it done. I remember in Thailand, it were really cheap, you know, next to nothing. So I used to go and have reflexology done pretty much every day. The,
Yeah, yeah.
the spinal twist, I think once you start, the further you get, the further you go on the program, and the more you start like building your body up with good calcium and making your body more fluid and relaxed by drinking water, and the vegetables loosen things up. You start being able to click your back a lot more doing the spinal twist. And every time I used to click my back, and the energy used to swoop down there, and you just realize how important the spine is in regards to the whole body system. You know, it's literally like the anchor for everything that comes off it. So I'm still, I mean, the structure, like anything, the structure's just, it's so important to get it all aligned and
Yeah.
fixed in place. And just keep doing it. Just keep kind of going along with it. And sometimes, you know, emotions are connected with your organs. I mean, I'm sure there's been times when people have felt angry in a certain situation and they've tensed, and this tenseness kind of, it fixates itself within the muscles, and it gets to a stage where, like, your shoulders, for example, are constantly tensed because you've just kept in the anger so much. And if you do reflexology, or you do the spinal twist or deep massage on these tissues, you will realize that these emotions will come out a little bit. So if you start feeling emotional after doing a reflexology session, or when you're twisting your spine, or when you get chiropractic work done or deep massage done, you know, do understand and realize that the connection is there.
Yeah, I think for me, the spinal twist has been really, really helpful. I have a lot of structural imbalances, and I use the spinal twist probably 3 times a day. I do it in the morning, I'll do it during the day, and I'll do it at night when I go to bed. I get massive movement in my back. Like, it's not like, for me, it's not a small click. It's like, pow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get, so the spinal twist maneuver, because I think it's from the copper toxicity partially, but I have like a twist in my whole spinal system where my whole left side of my body is tight. My left jaw clicks. I have left shoulder problems. Left hip pops out a little bit out of place sometimes. My left knee, I had left ankle problems. There's a twist in the spine, and you can see it in my stomach when I have my shirt off, like where the hair grows. You can see there's a twist. And so for me, the spinal twist maneuver has been absolutely fantastic. As far as foot reflexology, I don't really get. I think for some people, just like a lot of the procedures, they're more powerful for some people than others. I don't get a lot of detox related with foot reflexology. Like, some people will do foot reflexology and they'll get detox actually from it because it is quite powerful. I think it does help me relax. It does help me move energy downwards. The only thing that I notice is that
That's a good point. It definitely moves your energy downwards. Like, if you're in your head a lot, have a good reflexology session, you'll feel so much more grounded afterwards.
yeah, yeah. And I noticed that I get sore spots, especially in a couple areas, and then you'll feel those sore spots are the spots that you really, really want to concentrate on and you really want to rub. So when you feel the sore spot, you'll even feel little beads almost. It's like there's energy channels, and then the energy will get stuck. And especially when you've been meditating a lot and doing the enemas, and you're really bringing in more etheric energy into your body, it'll get stuck at your reflex points, and you'll feel a little, where it hurts, you'll almost feel little beads too, and you want to rub it as hard as you can for a good 3-4 minutes at least. And I notice when I do that, I can move energy downwards afterwards and the next day better, because I help you're releasing the tension points of your energy, of your meridians. Yeah. And so I think it's very powerful that way. I also absolutely love popping my toes. And,
I love popping my toes too.
And my toes will pop. And you'll notice that the energy also gets stuck in the joints, like the meridians. And, if I've been doing an enema and I've been meditating a lot, I'll pop my toes afterwards and I'll get huge pops because there's a lot of energy moving through them. And so I think popping the toes is very, very good. And as far as the spinal twist and for reflexology in general, they only take a couple minutes. So if you just do them, you know what I mean? You don't need to understand completely how they work. You know, I don't completely understand how the foot reflexology works, but you do it. Okay, and it only takes a few minutes, and it does, even though it seems strange, you know, it does work.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. A lot of people need to realize how important structure is, and muscles and tissue, and it's not all about, you know, you go and find a good chiropractor, you know, learn about moving the energy downwards, because when you move the energy downwards, you will feel blockages in certain areas, and you'll know that if you're feeling a blockage in that certain area, that particular area of the body might need a little bit of work doing to it, you know. Whether it's, I've got the jaw problem at the moment. I mean, I'm 3 years into the program, you know, and only now I'm starting to realise the extent of the damage in my jaw. I've only just started seeing a chiropractor in the past 3 months, and he's done huge releases on my body that have been so beneficial, and yeah, I mean, my two biggest detox reactions actually came from Thailand when I had 2 lots of deep tissue body massage, and yeah, and I know a lot of the times when I've had massaging in the past, the masseuse has always said to me, you know, your shoulders are really tight, you know, you're really tight, and people say that you keep the world's troubles on your shoulders, and you do, literally. If you're tensed up and you've got anger and you've got suppressed emotions, and they get trapped in these joints, and they contract, and the blood flow doesn't get through them as good as what they should do, and this means that they get a lot of toxin build up in these certain areas. So, you know, it needs a lot of work sometimes, and it's important to realise that the body's just as powerful, and it's got its own mind, and it's just as connected to the brain as, you know, anything really.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we have one more question from Daniel Murray, and Daniel is wondering, how many mono meals do we eat, and if we do mono meals? For me personally, I hardly ever eat mono meals. About 80% of my meals are cooked vegetables with 1 starch or 1 protein. Yeah, that's like probably 70 to 80% of my meals. I mean, once in a while I do eat mono meals, but you know, I think it depends on your digestion too. But I think just doing the cooked vegetables and the protein, 1 protein, 1 starch is enough for, you know, most people, and that's simple enough. It can be hard with mono meals. It's just very difficult to get all your calories in, and you're gonna have to eat more meals, because if you're eating a mono meal, you know, you should get protein in twice a day. So if you're eating a mono meal, you know, how are you going to get your vegetables in with animal protein twice a day with maybe carbohydrates? You know, it's going to be a lot, unless you have to eat probably at least 5 meals a day to do the mono.
I don't know, maybe he's talking about, like, because I eat mono meals, but when someone says mono meals to me, I usually, with regards to nutritional balancing, I usually think 1 vegetable type. So whether it be broccoli, peas, spinach, with a bit of protein.
No, he's talking about mono meals, like carrots.
Well, I would, in the beginning, I wouldn't recommend that personally, from personal experience, because you do need a little bit of protein to keep your energy levels up. Yeah. It's that protein that gets converted is really important, because I remember when I was having blood sugar issues in the beginning, and I had mono meals, I would crash, my blood sugar would crash because I didn't have that protein. So if you're doing, I'd always recommend putting protein with your meal.
Yeah, if you're eating mono meals, especially in the beginning, you're probably gonna have to eat 5 meals a day, and it's gonna be pretty difficult. I don't generally recommend. I mean, and you're only, even if you do eat 5 meals per day, you're only gonna be able probably to do mono meal once or twice throughout the day. If you're gonna do mono meals, you're not gonna be able to do every meal as a mono meal, because it's just, you're not going to be able to get in the animal protein along with the cooked vegetables, you know, along with your calories. You know, eating mono meals of carrots isn't going to get you enough calories.
You know, I think we need to just make people aware that Dr. Wilson does recommend mono meals, but I think he's talking about mono vegetables, like one vegetable with the protein.
No, he talks about mono meals like just carrots for breakfast.
Oh, right. Just carrot, just that. Because every time I've read it, I've always read it as like a broccoli.
Well, he talks about both, but he does recommend, he says mono meals are excellent, and they are excellent. But you're just not going to be able to do them for every meal, and you're going to probably have to eat more meals throughout the day in order to accomplish it.
They're quick. I have a lot of mono meals. They're quick. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not messing around chopping up loads of different vegetables. I'll just chop up one vegetable, put them in the steamer, it's done. Really quick. So that's a good benefit of mono meals. But make sure you always get some protein with it. And if you are doing mono meals, make sure you have a big amount. I think a big bulk.
Yeah. You're gonna have to eat a lot at one time. If you're eating carrots for breakfast, you're gonna eat a lot of carrots, and probably with nothing wrong with using like a little bit of butter too. It depends also.
I know someone that has that many carrots, they turn orange.
Yeah. And it depends too. If you're in fast oxidation, you're gonna want to use more butter or cream along with your mono meal. But like I said, it's gonna be mono meals are difficult, and if you're gonna do them, eat more meals throughout the day. And I would do it like maybe only once or twice a day. Like maybe have a mono meal for breakfast if you can handle it, or something like that. Or have a mono meal for dinner if digestion interferes with sleeping or something like that. But in general, they're not really needed. I mean, if you keep it simple and eat the cooked vegetables, you can even eat 2 or 3 cooked vegetables with a starch or protein.
If you're in adrenal burnout or you've got blood sugar issues, don't bother doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah. But, if you can do them, there's nothing wrong with them. And they do ease digestion a lot. And simple meals are a lot of people make that mistake, on the program. Simple meals really help you heal faster on the program. I've even talked about it in videos, how it's often overlooked, and because digestion is a stress on the body. And when you're eating simple meals, it's less of a stress on the body, and you're absorbing more nutrients, and it's just a lot easier for your body to digest and get all you can out of it. Okay. Yeah. I think that is. Let me see if we have any more questions. No, I think that's No, I think that's it. Okay. Well, we'll do this again next Saturday at 9 a.m. I'll try to get us some guests, and
yeah, we should market it a little bit more, really. Give people. I mean, yeah, maybe we can. Can you kind of start off? Can you send a link before you go live? Can you do that?
Yeah. All right, guys.
We'll look into that for next week.
Yeah, that's it for now. Tune in next week, and then be sure to leave us your comments for questions.
Yeah.
We'll answer them.
Any questions that people have from this one that we haven't covered that you want to put in the comment section, we'll try and get to them questions in the start of next week, because I'm sure there's so many things that we've forgot about or people need to understand further. So just pop in the comments now, and then next week at the start we'll answer the questions.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, everyone, have a good one.
All right, cool. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.